I'm just kind of a little ticky today and want to talk it out. Sometimes they catch me off guard, and sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're hard to understand. The one I've just done that just caught me off guard where I think and I'm feeling okay is, "Oh God, mommy, I'm so sorry." Real hard, and you could tell it's a tick, and I can't even narrow down what I'm thinking at the time. I mean, it's weird, but I don't know. It's tiring on my mind sometimes. Sometimes I'll do the same thing with dad in place of mom, but a lot of times those cases were thinking of him dying at the house and that situation he just let himself get into that just happens in a lot of cases that I hear people talk about, in that, under those circumstances. Anyway, I'm not going to blab long. I'm just hoping that this kind of eases my mind a bit and I'll get back at it. Just will sometimes wonder if anybody thinks about me. But I'll talk at you later. Bye. Good morning. Here a little early. I'll clock in a few minutes, but I figured I'd blab at you a little bit. But I was watching a video on different things, for lack of a better word, that they say I think people need to do to stay healthy, and none of them were really science-based. They were kind of pseudoscience-ish, but they said they had results and whatever. And I kept thinking, boy, that is really weird, some of the stuff that they come out with. But then I also watched a deal on like the placebo effect and how it works sometimes when we think, with our mind, we anticipate something, and I kind of relate it to maybe like, if you go back to the Indians and their shaman puts together some kind of talisman and they give it to the hunters, say, with this talisman, you'll get a lot of deer. And you just take that with you, and they get all stoked and like, oh yes, I got this talisman, and they go out and they have a great hunt. I kind of contribute that to the placebo effect. They built themselves up in their mind, and it really had nothing to do with this little amulet this shaman made, but it still had the same effect, and I'm kind of cool with that. They've even studied like the placebo effect with people that knew they were taking a placebo, and it still worked just because they've had such success with that before. They're like, okay, the placebo effect works, so we're going to do this and it's going to work for us, and it does without any side effects. So I'm like, man, that's kind of cool. And in a lot of ways, I kind of use psychology on myself all the time, because I keep telling myself, well, I make these videos for my daughter and future generations so they can kind of see what I'm all about, because nobody really sees them here, and it's not like my friends, choice. I don't think. I think it's just the way Facebook operates. It just don't get your stuff out. So in thinking about that, thinking, okay, maybe if it's in our minds and we have that ability, that could be just a gift, to create our miracles, just kind of the way things were created. But anyway, I'll let you go, because I was just thinking about that and how to operate, to make that kind of a practical sense of life to get some things accomplished. But I'll blab at you later and get started. Bye. Good morning. Been a busy day. Been here probably like three and a half hours ish so far. Got a lot of stuff clean. I wrote a song today, and if you get a chance, you can kind of check it out. I know it's probably not all that great. It's my first one complete. I've wrote bits and pieces of other stuff that might be better, but I've never finished them. And this, I started at 1, and by 3 o'clock a.m. this morning, I had that video made. And but it was a lot of fun and gave me ideas and just thoughts. But right now I'm noticing, like when I see, and we've talked about, that I don't have a mind's eye as far as picturing like an apple in my hand or something like that. When somebody says they can do that, that amazes me. I don't see nothing. But when I close my eyes, I see just shapes and patterns and stuff. It's not controllable. I can't decide what I'm going to see. But also what I see a lot of times is what I would call static in the air. Just kind of almost like you took your phone and snapped a picture in low light, and that little bit of fuzz that goes across it. Well, that's what I see everywhere. And today it's extra staticky. Matter of fact, it looks like right now when I'm looking across there that it's a light mist, like if you'd be outside and it's just a slight sprinkle mist kind of in the air. That's what it looks like. Raining, I can even tell which it's coming from that direction, heading that way. Not for sure what I'm seeing, if it's all just kind of the way my eyes are, something in my eyes. But it's kind of fascinating. Anyway, I'll blab at y'all later and check out my stuff if you want. If not, that's okay too. But it's my first one, so don't make fun of me. Good morning. Got to clock in here in a few minutes, but I'm feeling a lot better today. I slept really good, and that makes a difference. Had a lot of vivid dreams. And I guess in that state is sort of a regenerative process that takes hold, and maybe the inflammation goes down. I feel pretty good. I get really grateful. So I remember the morning just sitting, drinking some coffee, thinking, man, I enjoy every drop of this moment, from the coffee to just the fact that of clarity of mind and the different things that I go through. Played a little bit on a game that I enjoy, but I don't do that without, through the whole process, I ponder the reality that if I didn't go through what I go through, there'd be no way to enjoy or to realize the blessing of feeling normal, and the gratitude probably wouldn't be there. And the only difference from what I go through, because I don't go through anything that's any more traumatic than anybody else. We all go through that kind of stuff. The biggest difference is perception. I perceive it, so that's what I go through. So I'm just so grateful that right now I feel good, and I'm grateful for the magnification properties of the times when I don't, because boy, that really reminds me. And sometimes we just need reminded, like the old song, remind me, dear Lord, the things that how does it go? Things that I love and hold dear to my heart, they're just borrowed, they're not mine at all. Jesus, only let me use them to brighten my life. So remind me, dear Lord. Sometimes we need a reminding, and sometimes the stuff we go through is the best reminder for me. And yeah, I'm fine with it. At the moment, I might be a little miserable, but then, days like this come, you feel good, gratitude becomes overwhelming, and you're thinking, without that bad time, this might not be as magnified as much as it is right now. Anyway, have a great day. Bye. Good morning. I know it's my second video. I've been here almost 3 hours cleaning, and I got thinking about a video that I'd watched and caught myself kind of doing the exact opposite of what I intend to do subconsciously. And then when you're consciously aware of it, then you can change, which is about the only way anybody can change, is to become consciously aware of what needs to be changed. But it was a video on Carl Jung, and he was discussing the importance or the magnitude of imagination and how to use that. And I've always said that the brain itself can't differentiate or imagination from reality as far as the chemicals that it pumps. You can let yourself get into like a heated argument with somebody maybe that you don't like, and that'll produce the same chemicals in your brain as if you're actually doing it. Or you can, project like somebody that does meditation and kind of enter a serene, peaceful state that your brain, it follows suit. And I caught myself kind of doing that with somebody that I consider maybe a little bit of a dangerous personality type. So you guard yourself from that. But my guard myself is like protecting everybody else by eliminating the threat. And yeah, very overreactive and unproductive. But as soon as I cognitively, that was almost like a subconscious thing I was going through, became consciously aware of what I was doing, I stopped and like, wait a minute, I'm fantasizing over stuff I don't want to fantasize, especially if, there's a chance of bringing that into reality, which is what they were discussing with this Carl Jung. Instead, I want to start imagining, I love playing pretend as I was a kid, and I can still do it as an adult as long as I become productive at it, and envision a future for me and my daughter, which I'm absolutely crazy about, and different aspects of my life that become productive. So I stop, like, nope, not going to do that. That's a situation that may or may not ever happen. Sometimes I wonder if it's not in like preparing, like a defensive mechanism for preparing for some of that stuff we go through. But it still doesn't seem productive because it just hypes you all up and your body starts producing chemicals like you are in the situation you're imagining. So yeah, I'm going to be aware of that and change it. And if I choose to imagine something, it's going to be imagining peace and love and compassion that abounds so greatly that it catches everybody's breath. But anyway, I'll blab at you later. Bye. Good morning. Been here almost 2 hours. Got some CPAP repairs already and waiting for pickup. But I was thinking about games, and sometimes you can get into like a role-playing game. Just imagine if you got into it so vividly that you kind of forgot what you really were and where you really were. You're just so into that game. And that's kind of the way I feel like life is to a degree. I think it's a game, and we get so wrapped up in it that we forget who we are, and where we come from and what is really important. And I truly believe that everything I view externally is just a distraction to keep me from looking internally. Now, it doesn't mean I don't want to play the game to the best of my ability, but I want to play the game and keep in mind that this is not reality. This is not real. And I know you're going to think, wow, he's done lost it. But some of you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'll get back at it because I got some more stuff to do, and I'll blab at you later. Bye. Good morning. I woke up doing pretty good today. I've been learning that new song really thinking of my sister when it was about Winnie the Pooh. Although I am a fan. I always kept that in the closet because I was afraid it would hurt my macho image. But anyway, if you see some of the T-shirts that I wear, one of them has Winnie the Pooh, which my sister made it for Toot, and I'm the one that actually wears it because it's a little big for her. But I woke today with like absolutely no symptoms of Tourette's whatsoever. I mean, real smooth. I mean, a lot of days, even if I can make these videos and do it pretty efficiently, I've had that background itch that tells me something's wrong. But it is completely gone. So I'm thinking, wow, that is great. Maybe I got my healing. And I say maybe, some people probably chastise that, said, no, you got to profess it. Okay, whatever. I have found, though, that it's all of a sudden made me a little discontent for all of this, which I'm sure that's probably a rich trait. I don't think that any of us were meant for this, but what's kept me here was the bizarre tics and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that what I've went through, you know, I would go back to the ministry. I mean, I might if somebody asked, but there would be a long talk to see if I was something they were truly looking for, especially since I have some alternative viewpoints, or maybe translations. But yeah, feel pretty good. One thing I hope I can keep, I say that I don't have another tic ever. What I've learned from this, if that's the case, is strong humility and compassion for the things people do that they may not have any control over. I mean, we kind of think we do, but that's an illusion. We want to hold everybody else accountable, but when we do something stupid, it's like, yeah, well, I just couldn't help that. Well, maybe those other people couldn't either. So I hope I hang on to what lessons I learned through that, if this truly is a healing. As far as the discontent, I'm not for sure about that. It was actually hard to be here, but not for the other reasons that are typically hard to be here. I'll think about that one. Anyway, I'll blab at you later. I brought my guitar, so I'll keep practicing my song. Good morning. Been here a couple hours already. Got some stuff clean. Did a song this morning before I left the house. Didn't do the whole thing, but just part of one where I laid down 2 tracks and put the guitar on one separately and then sang on the other, so I could kind of try to mix it. I'm just playing and experimenting, really, to see how I can get it. But it was fun. I was thinking about empathy, and the strong empathy that I have lets me have compassion for things I don't otherwise understand. One thing would be like, you know, I personally don't grieve for the dead, but being strong towards that empathic nature, I feel for those who do. It's their loss. So if I see somebody really hurting for that, or grieving for a lost loved one, I feel and I can have compassion, even though I don't understand it. If I didn't have that empathy, that might be confusing to me, and I might come across harsh, because it's something that I just don't do. But because of it, I do. And there's other things like that, you know, I can have some kind of feeling and compassion for, even though personally I don't understand the concept. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm glad that that's the way I am, the way I was created. Um, I kind of appreciate it. But anyway, I'll blab at you later, and come go listen to my song if you want. Bye. Good morning. I'm here at work, feeling a little better today. Um, Sometimes, like on my way here, even the car, if I had like a little recorder or something, I just hit play and just let my thoughts be out loud. Might be kind of interesting because, man, just on the way to work, I would be thinking about anything from loving the unlovable or those who are incapable of returning any love, or maybe if they did, they would return love with ulterior motives, to, different I've had, different things I've done that were surely accidental, that somebody would, a girl I might be seeing or like would see and just decide, okay, that's done. They'll think I did it on purpose or something. And in one case, and I guess it's kind of humorous, but I didn't really mean it the way it sounded. But I was standing at a table in Canada, and like on the edge of the table was a little screw. And the girl that I'd kind of thought was kind of cool there, and I was just getting to know her, didn't know her very well, just met her at the revival. And I picked up that screw and said, hey, there's a screw. You want a screw? And just gave it to her. And she took that as like a joke, like, want to do it. But I was just like not intending. I mean, we're in church. Did not intend for it to sound like that at all. Well, she didn't have anything to do with me after that. And I didn't figure out what I'd exactly done until somebody had mentioned, I think maybe even her sister said something like, I got a little different sense of humor than she does, and that wouldn't have bothered me. And I thought, sense of humor? What are you talking? Did I make a joke? And I still couldn't figure out what they were talking about. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh boy, I am slow. Okay, I didn't mean that. But to be honest, in those circumstances, whether somebody, decided they didn't want me or I didn't want somebody else, I really feel it all happened just the way it was supposed to happen. I don't consider me much of a catch, so they probably dodged the bullet. And, so it happened just the way it was supposed to happen. Probably for their sake, more so for mine. I'm probably a little bit better now. But yeah, kind of interesting the way things go, especially after incidents like that, where you're just like, wow, was that just supposed to happen? It just seems so weird. It's like, interesting. Thinking about that, thinking about the narcissist again, and then back to the love deal, just loving them, then thinking of the different kind, from the vulnerable narcissist that, kind of gets their attention by the woe is me thing, to the grandiose that just thinks they're God's gift to the planet, to one that I've never heard talk about, but there's kind of gotta be, because typically a narcissist doesn't have any compassion or sense of empathy. But if there's one that's been labeled a narcissist and they do, then it makes me wonder, could that be a fame-induced narcissist, like somebody was praised? And I've seen a lot in ministers where there's a tendency to praise the minister by certain people. And if someone starts actually believing the praise, could that turn them into that type of a person, or at least have the tendencies to come across as it? See, a lot of stuff comes on my mind. But anyway, I'll let you go because I'm pushing 5 minutes and I normally don't blab that long, but I'll talk at you later. Bye. Good morning. Been here hour and a half ish, and don't feel real good today, but I don't know if it's like allergies. Been sneezing my head off. And got a little bit of a chemical-y taste, and I'm not sure because I turned on the heat, so I don't know if our heater's not functioning quite well. I'll try to get some fresh air and see. I might just shut it off if that's kind of doing it, because I didn't feel like that till I got here. But while I was cleaning, I was thinking about, I really feel like this portion of existence is like an embryonic stage, and that once we get free from the flesh and we're in the spirit, that is more like being birthed into actually the existence that was intended. We'll preach and teach that heaven is so much greater than this, but we'll spend a lot of money staying out of there. And I thought, especially when somebody does pass, and we'll say, well, they lost their battle, and that just seems strange, almost an insult to the Creator. It's like makes it like that existence is not as good as this one. And if that's the case, geez, okay. But anyway, I don't know. I know for what I go through with the inflammation in the brain and that kind of thing, and the fact that I don't seek treatment, and I'm not going to, no matter what if they gave me a expiration date, I'm not going to have any kind of anything done. It just is what it is. I'm not in any pain and do okay. But anyway, I'll blab at you later and maybe start feeling better as the morning progresses. Bye. Good morning. Rough morning start with the inflammation and the ticks. I don't know how long I'll be able to handle it, but I'll keep on trying, keep on cleaning, keep on doing the stuff that I do. This is like the 4th video, and each one ends in just an extremely violent way, and I'm not going to portray that. I'm just not going to do it. That's part of the inflammation that triggers. I don't know if it's triggering adrenaline or what exactly is going on scientifically, but it's extremely uncomfortable. But I'm going to keep being positive, kind of keep throwing up there anytime that negative motion comes up. I'm going to counter it with as much love as I possibly can, much compassion, as much mercy, as much grace. I'm just going to, every time that comes up with a negative feeling, I'm going to counter it with the opposite, because that's all I can do. But I will blab at you later. Have a good day. Boy, I just can't stop. I just made a video and I just keep back here preaching to myself, just uplifting myself, because I keep thinking, everybody's talking about the state of things and how disastrous it is, and they just get all this panicky mode. And man, I don't dig that. That's the same way with the preppers. I believe in living off the land and providing for yourself, but if you do it out of fear, man, there's something messed up about that. And I don't care if my town goes south and you lose. Oh, fine, you just move to another town. What about if your state goes south? Well, then you just move to another state. What about if your country goes south? Well, then you just, what do you do then? Which reminds me of the old song that says, you can lock me up in a prison and throw away the key. take away the vision from these eyes that now can see. You can deny me the food I eat and even bind my hands and feet. But as long as I have Jesus, I can still go free. There's nothing about this externally that is going to keep me, that's going to mess me up internally. I don't care what happens. They can say, oh, well, as last resort, we tried to get his happiness and he's just still going to be happy. So now we're just going to have to kill him. Woohoo, I get to go to heaven. Well, nothing can mess you up, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, I'll try one more time to get back it, but I might get so happy I might come on here a third time and just do a whole sermon. Bye.